Very good morning, dear students. So, the next topic mentioned in unit number 2 of biochemistry is peptidoglycan. Why we are discussing peptidoglycan in this chapter is this is a polymer that consisting of carbohydrate and along with the protein. So we have been discussing about carbohydrate such as monosaccharide, disaccharide and polysaccharides. And one of the important aspects in microbiology, that is the bacterial cell wall. The primary components of a bacterial cell wall, especially gram-positive bacteria, are peptidoglycan. And we are going to discuss the detailed aspects of peptidoglycan in this particular class. So, as you all know, peptidoglycan is commonly present in bacteria, both gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. And this is otherwise known as murin or mucopeptide. And this is a molecular conjugate that is consist of the carbohydrate and the amino acid. Okay, the carbohydrate and the amino acid, they are combined to form a particular molecular conjugate is known as peptidoglycan. And this peptidoglycan, it is a mesh-like structure or layer produced outside the plasma membrane, as you can see in the figure, that is present in most of the bacteria which forms the cell wall. And you know that bacterial cell wall is one of the important fundamental aspects of microbiology. And here we can see that the plasma membrane is the or inner membrane is the one of the important part. Then above the inner membrane, you can see the periplasmic space, and above the periplasmic space, you can see the peptidoglycan. And this is the outermost layer of a gram-positive bacteria that is provide the structure or rigidity to the bacteria. Okay, and this peptidoglycan is present in gram-negative bacteria also. You know that gram-negative bacteria, plasma membrane is the inner membrane, and there also periplasmic space, and between periplasmic space and the outer membrane, that consisting of lipopolysaccharide and protein, mainly lipid, core polysaccharide and O antigen. Between these two layers, the plasma membrane and outer membrane, okay, and along with the periplasmic layer also, okay, the plasma membrane and the outer membrane, you can see something called as a peptidoglycan. And you can see in gram-negative bacteria, it is very less in comparison with the gram-positive bacteria. In gram-positive bacteria, this is the outermost layer, but in the case of gram-negative bacteria, the concentration is very less, but that is not the outermost layer, and this is somehow innermost between the outer membrane and the inner membrane and periplasmic space also. Then here you can see peptidoglycan is the most common source of D-amino acid in the nature. Generally, the amino acids are not in D form, they are in L form, but most common type of D-amino acids, that is peptidoglycan. And here we can discuss about the structure of peptidoglycan. As I told, peptidoglycan consists of a polysaccharide. That is why we are discussing in this unit. Its fundamental component is a polysaccharide. Okay, so polysaccharide and a protein. That protein part is known as a peptide. Okay, so polysaccharide part is known as sugar. Okay, or glycan. Okay, so this particular molecule is known as a this is a molecular conjugate that is known as a peptidoglycan or proteoglycan. Okay, peptidoglycan or peptidoglycan, and this is the heteropolysaccharides. Okay, and the peptidoglycan layer, individual layer in the bacterial cell. Okay, as I showed here, in this particular layer in the bacterial cell wall, that forms a crystal lattice structure. Okay, that is a crystal lattice structure that is formed from the linear chain of two alternating amino sugars. We have discussed the classification of sugars. One important sugar is a amino sugar. Okay, so these amino sugars are, one is N-acetyl glucosamine, next one is N-acetyl muramic acid. Okay, N-acetyl glucosamine is otherwise known as NAG. Okay, NAG, and N-acetyl muramic acid is known as NAM. Now, okay, and this NAG and NOMs are the alternative amino sugars stabilize the structure of peptidoglycan, which are connected by strong beta-1,4 glycosidic linkage. Okay, NAM and NAGs are connected by beta-1,4 glycosidic linkage. And the third part is a peptide unit. That peptide unit are attached to the N-acetyl muramic acid, and that is made up of using peptide, you know that, a small short chain of amino acid. Okay, so that is made up of either 3 or 4 or 5 amino acid, a short chain peptide unit. This is the third part of the peptidoglycan. Okay, and this peptide can be cross-linked to the peptidoglycan chain. Okay, the peptide can be cross-linked to a peptide chain of another strand, forming a 3D mesh-like structure. Okay, we will see the structure in detail. So that is what I told. The NAM, okay, that is N-acetyl muramic acid, that consisting of a small attachment. Okay, what is that attachment? Short 4 or 5 amino acid chain. If it is 4, then it is known as tetrapeptide. Then it is 5 amino acid, that is known as pentapeptide. Okay, and the composition of this peptide in both gram-negative and gram-positives are different. Okay, in the case of gram-negative bacteria, the tetrapeptides are L-alanine, D-glutamic acid, mesodiaminopimelic acid, and D-alanine. Okay, L-alanine, D-glutamic acid, mesodiaminopimelic acid, and D-alanine. That is known as tetrapeptide. But in the case of gram-positive bacteria, everything is the same. L-alanine, D-glutamic acid, and instead of, mesodiaminopimelic acid, that is a L-lysine. Okay, and sometimes instead of D-glutamic acid, it is D-glutamine also can be present. Okay, and the other one is the D-alanine. Okay, so that is the difference. Main difference is instead of L-lysine, in the case of gram-negative bacteria, there is a mesodiaminopimelic acid is present. And each of the tetrapeptide that is present in one chain will be interacted with the another chain, the tetrapeptide that is associated with the NAM residue of another chain. Okay, the tetrapeptide or pentapeptide that is associated with the NAM of one chain will be interacted with the tetrapeptide or pentapeptide associated with the NAM of the next polymeric chain by an interbridge called glycine linkage. Okay, that will be 5 glycine linkage, 5 molecules of glycine, which is the smallest amino acid, you know, and that is known as pentapeptide or interbridge between the tetrapeptide. Okay, that is the structure. So this is the things which I told. Okay, here you can see the alternative units of NAM, NAG, NAM, NAG, NAM, NAG. This blue color stands for N-acetyl muramic acid and violet color stands for N-acetyl glucosamine. Okay, so these are connected by beta-1,4 linkages, and you can see this is one chain, and similarly this is the second chain and third chain, fourth chain, etc. So what I have been telling is in the NAM there is a attachment. Okay, yeah, what is attached actually? There is a 4 amino acid is attached, number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4 or 5. Okay, so that what is that amino acid? This I told you: L-alanine, D-glutamic acid, meso-pymalic acid, or D-L-lysine and D-lysine. Okay, so these are the 4 amino acid. In this now, these are the 4 amino acid. This now, these are the 4 amino acid. And this one, these are the 4 amino acid. And how they are cross-linked. Okay. And this amino acid from L-lysine, the L-lysine that is attached with the glycine. Okay. Glycine, and glycine. And the first from one particular region, the L-lysine is attached. L-lysine or mesodiaminopymalic acid is attached with the D-alanine of the next one, and there is a formation of a cross link, and this is known as pentaglycine cross links or pentapeptide. Okay, pentapeptide. So this is the structure of a peptidoglycan. This is very simple and very interesting. Okay, and the cross linking between the amino acids occurs with the help of an enzyme, and this is occurs with the help of an enzyme called a DD transpeptidase. Okay, that is occurred via DD transpeptidase, and which form a 3-dimensional structure to the peptidoglycan, and which are very strong and rigid. Here you can see the bond is glycosidic linkage, which are very difficult to break, and they are very strong and rigid. And the specific amino acid sequence and the molecular structure of this peptidoglycan will vary depending upon the bacterial species. Okay, there is a variation in the this structure depending upon the species. So this the composition of peptidoglycan is one of the important identification tool for the various species of bacteria. Okay, and this is the one peptidoglycan monomer. I told you this is the glucose residue. Okay, this is the glucose residue, and this glucose residue is connected with what? Amino sugar. Okay, this is an amino sugar. Here this OH is interacted with acetic acid, so that is what it is known as N-acetyl muramic acid. Okay, N-acetyl muramic acid, and here you can see this is N-acetyl glucosamine. Okay, this is an amine unit is interacted here. Okay, N-acetyl glucosamine. So here you can see in this muramic acid, this the component, the amino acid is the tetrapeptide or pentapeptide, L-lysine, D-glutamic acid or D-glutamine, L-lysine, D-alanine, and D-alanine. Okay, so this 4 is known as tetrapeptide, and this 5 is known as pentapeptide. Generally, in the case of gram-positive bacteria, this is L-alanine, D-glutamic acid, L-lysine, and D-alanine. But in the case of gram-negative bacteria, instead of L-lysine, it will be mesodiaminopymalic acid. And here you can see the formation, how it is connected. Okay, this here you can see OH. The OH is in the right on the top side, since it's beta conformation. Here you can see the first position, carbon number first one in the NAM. Okay, NAM. In the case of NAM, the position number 1, carbon position number 1, that is interacted with carbon 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Carbon position number 4. Okay, then what will happen? There is a formation of linkage, that is known as beta 1,4 linkage. 1 and 4, beta 1,4 linkage. Okay, so that is a small unit. Okay, NAM, NAG, next one is also NAM, NAG, like that the structure will go, and 2 residue, this will be shared the pentapeptide linkage. Okay, this is the structure. And there are a lot of differences between the peptidoglycan in the gram-positive and gram-negative bacterial cell wall. Okay, so here the peptidoglycan layer is the major layer in the gram-positive bacteria, that is very thicker, approximately 20 to 80 nanometer. Thick peptidoglycan layer is present in the case of gram-positive bacteria. That is what I showed in the here. Here you can see 20 to 80% very thick peptidoglycan. But in the case of gram-negative bacteria, here you can see that is only 5 to 10 percentage is present. Okay, only 5 to 10 percentage, or you can say up to 7 to 8 nanometer that is present. Okay, and in the case of gram-positive bacteria, this is the outermost layer. Peptidoglycan is the outermost layer, but in the case of gram-negative bacteria, peptidoglycan is not the outermost layer. Peptidoglycan is situated between the inner membrane or plasma membrane and the outer membrane that is made up of lipopolysaccharides. Okay, and the peptidoglycan forms 90% of the dry weight in the gram-positive bacteria, but only 10% in the gram-negative, 5 to 10% in the gram-negative bacteria. Okay, and the presence of high level of peptidoglycan content is the major characteristic feature of a gram-positive bacterial cell. Okay, the peptidoglycan content is the major difference between the gram-positive and gram-negative bacterial cell wall. In the case of gram-positive bacteria, there is a thicker outermost peptidoglycan layer is present, and which are 20 to 80%, that is very thicker layer. But in the case of gram-negative bacteria, that has only 7 to 8 nanometer thickness is there, and that is not situated in the outer membrane, situated as the outer covering, that is situated between the inner membrane and the outer membrane. Inner membrane is plasma membrane, outer membrane is the made up of lipopolysaccharides in the case of gram-negative bacteria. Okay, and I told you this is approximately only 2 nanometer, only 7 to 8 nanometer. And both in gram-positive bacteria and gram-negative bacteria, the peptidoglycan can transport the particles. Okay, the particles are approximately less than 2 nanometer size, then it can cross through the plasma membrane. Okay, and the major differences I told you in the case of the differences in the amino acid. Okay, so what is the amino acid? Another amino acid. In the case of gram-positive bacteria, the amino acids compositions are L-alanine, D-glutamine, L-lysine, and D-alanine. Okay, but in the case of gram-negative bacteria, the composition is L-alanine, which is the same. This is D-glutamic acid. Okay, and instead of D-glutamine, that can be D-glutamic acid also. But major difference is the L-lysine that will be replaced as mesodiaminopiamelic acid, and D-alanine is the same. But there are differences. Okay, there are differences. Okay, this is a very, very important thing, and that is the tetrapeptide structural difference in the case of gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. And this is what I have told. In the case of gram-negative bacteria, peptidoglycan is situated between outer membrane and cytoplasmic membrane or plasma membrane. Okay, and there you can see outer membrane has lipopolysaccharide bilayer also, and the thickness is very, very less. But in the case of gram-positive bacteria, the outer membranes are absent, and the peptidoglycan is the outermost layer, and there you can see inner membrane you can see. Okay, this is the complex structure, a three-dimensional structure. Here you can see in the case of gram-positive bacteria, outermost layer is a porine. This is a porine protein, and lipopolysaccharide outer membranes are there. Okay, here this is the outer membrane, and here it is the outer membrane. Okay, this is a phospholipid bilayer, and here only one layer, very less small layer you can see. This is peptidoglycan. Okay, and this is perispalmismic, and this is inner membrane. But in the case of gram-positive bacteria, you see this is the phospholipid bilayer, the fluid mosaic model of phospholipid plasma membrane, and above that you can see there is a very thick peptidoglycan, and this has other protein also, and this is again stabilized by another molecule called teichoic acid. Okay, teichoic acid is a very rigid structure that is stabilized the peptidoglycan in the gram-positive bacterial cell, that is absent in the case of gram-negative cell. And here you can see a certain membrane polysaccharides also, and you can see the membrane proteins also, and then these membrane proteins are embedded in the lipopolysaccharide bilayer. So this is the differences in the three-dimensional structure of peptidoglycan between gram-positive and gram-negative cell wall. And I told you that if you look in the monomeric unit, in the case of gram-positive bacteria such as Staphylococcus aureus, if you check L-alanine, D-glutamine, L-lysine, D-lysine. Okay, but in the case of gram-negative bacteria such as E. coli, everything is the same, but here you can see instead of L-lysine, you can see mesodiaminopiamelic acid. Okay, and the remaining things are the same. And plus there is a difference in the D. It is instead of D glutamine, and there is here it will be D-glutamic acid. Okay, so this is the major difference between gram-positive and gram-negative cell wall, the composition of a peptidoglycan. Then what are the major functions of peptidoglycan? Is peptidoglycan serve as the structural role. It provides the structural, especially gram-positive bacteria, it provides the structural rigidity to the gram-positive bacteria. It provides the structural rigidity to gram-positive bacteria. Okay, and it provides structural strength and which counteracting the osmotic pressure of the cytoplasm. Okay, then it is involved the binary fission during the bacterial reproduction. Okay, and in the case of gram-positive bacteria, the peptidoglycan layer stabilizes the presence of teichoic acid and other proteins and the membrane polysaccharides. Okay, and in the case of gram-positive bacteria, again it is very, very important in the attachment role. Here the attachment, all the attachment directly with the help of peptidoglycan outer layer. And the serotyping, I told you, depending upon the microorganism, serotyping of the organism. Okay, this parameter, presence of peptidoglycan and the composition is very, very important. Okay, that is very, very important in the case of gram-positive bacterial strain. So this is all about the peptidoglycan, dear students. So we can conclude today's class. Okay, initially we have discussed the overview of peptidoglycan. What is peptidoglycan? Why we are discussing peptidoglycan in unit number 2, that is carbohydrate. Then we have discussed the peptidoglycan structure. It consisting of mainly 3 subunits. One is N-acetyl glucosamine. Next one is N-acetyl muramic acid, and there is a tetrapeptides. Okay, or pentapeptide. And the structural features, the detailed structural features between how it is forming and how it is connecting. The NAM and NACs are connected by beta-1,4 linkages, how it is producing, and how it is producing a closed very network mesh-like structure. And what is the tetrapeptide and what is pentaglycine linkage, how it is stabilized, everything we have discussed. And we have discussed the peptidoglycan content in the case of gram-positive and gram-negative cell. Okay, the major difference in this particular case is the peptidoglycan content between gram-positive and gram-negative cell. Okay, and we have discussed some of the functional aspects of peptidoglycan. Okay, why peptidoglycan is important in biochemistry and why we should study about peptidoglycan structure in biochemistry. So this is all about today's class, dear students. And as I said, these are the textbook and reference books. Okay, and here Leninger Principles of Biochemistry is one of the best books. Okay, one of the best book, and there are a lot of reference book also. It is available. Okay, so thank you, dear students. If you are having any clarification, you can mail me or you can ask me. And thank you for watching this particular class.